Hi Kawan, welcome to EDCReady. And if you don't know, because most of my viewers are about, I think 83% from the US, it's Chinese New Year. So, and although I love my American made knives, here's one. Here's a Protect Malibu. Great knife, great action, great design. Here's another one. This is a Spyderco Native 5 Salt. My favorite knife and could be my one and done knife for the rest of my life. Great knife. This one, ZT0450CF, another made in American knife, S35VN, the best carbon fiber I've ever felt, nice titanium handles. But one thing that cannot be ignored is the other side of the knife making spectrum, which on one side you have the USA made, USA company knives, and then you also have these amazing made in China knives. And these made in China knives can be American companies, such as this one, Kershaw, which is under the same company as ZT. We have another one called CKRT, stands for Columbia River Knife and Tools. Okay, and they definitely have an arm that makes knives overseas and makes knives in America. But you have these amazing knives or multi-tools that are made in China. They are just really amazing when it comes to providing value and providing a really unique design, and they're willing to test it. They're willing to test new designs because they have the manufacturing capacity to try lots of different and slightly odd designs, and they kind of throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And then things that stick really tend to stick around a little bit, and I just want to go through this one at a time. First is first, let's talk about some US companies we've made in China knife. First, I have here my favorite neck knife that I have so far. This is the Kershaw Brace. This one is made in China. It's made out of 8CR13 MOV steel, which is a Chinese plate steel. Have a nice little bead here in the back, and this is just a small tiny little knife that I carry around with me, but most of the time this guy actually stays at home. This guy stays in my sock drawer, and every time I need to open up a packaging, or a friend of mine or my wife needs to open up a packaging, this is the one I'm bringing with me to events to loan out to people, or the one I'm going to loan out to my wife and sometimes my daughter, because it does not have a locking mechanism that could potentially fail. It's very comfortable in smaller hands, so I have small hands and my wife has even smaller hands and my daughter has teeny tiny hands. So this is a knife that's completely, how would you say this? It's completely unintimidating for a bunch of people out there, and just adding this little lanyard in the back actually gives it a nice 4-finger grip. My pinky goes here, and actually can use this as like a brace, pun intended, in the back, and then have my thumb up here where the jimping is nicely placed here, and have a lot of really good control. This is a very good box cutter knife, very good event knife. Now the great thing about this is that you have ambidextrous sheath. It can go in one way and it can go in the other way. It is made out of 8CR. This is a neck knife, so this has gunked up on my body a little while. You can see there, tiny bit of dirt there. I don't know if that's surface rust or dirt. Let me take a closer look. Yeah, there's just a little bit of dirt. Yeah, they just wiped off. I think it's a little bit of cardboard or cellophane tape that got stuck in there when I was opening something. Next up, another very popular American company, CKRT. They have a lot of amazing knife designs. They are one of the most creative knife makers, knife brands in the industry, right along Spyderco. And this is one of my favorite knives from them. In fact, this is my only knife from them that I've kept. I've had the Pilar, I've had the Pilar Large, and I've tried out the Pilar 3, and I've tried out the Squid, but this guy stays in my pocket. This guy I got from Thomas Tools, this guy I got from Thomas Tools as well, and this guy I got from Thomas Tools as well. Okay, oh, this guy too. I certainly have a lot of knives from Thomas Tools. Link down below, do check them out. Affiliate links, all of them. It will really help out the channel. So this is a Razor Cliff, and it's actually a Graham design. John Graham has unfortunately left us a couple of years ago, so rest in peace, John Graham. But this guy has a really amazing design of a blade shape. You have this flat portion here, okay, and then you have this chisel up here, hence the razor, which is razor plus chisel, and gets to a very nice good point here. Great for box cutting, great for these kind of pull cuts, which I love to do. Ergonomically, this guy does really well. Even just getting a 3-finger grip here, my pinky lands up here, and then it has this nice jimping in the back here that goes into my palm. It's actually a really well designed ergonomic knife. You can choke up a little bit, but there's no guard between here to here, and it's a very slight ram that goes up onto the blade. That makes me a little bit nervous, but holding it back here, great knife. Holding it back here, because this part here is unsharpened, great feeling as well. Great for these kind of pen hole kind of pull cuts that I do on a regular basis. So that's great. Now when it comes to bang for the buck, the best knife brand out there is Gonzo. Now, Gonzo, for a long time, they were kind of known to be kind of like copycats, copying designs of a of a PM2 and adding a G lock, which is kind of like an axis lock. But recently, they've actually been creating a lot of in-house unique designs, still using the G lock. The G lock is actually exactly the same as an axis lock, but the patent expired, which means that they can legally use an axis lock style design. They just can't call it an axis lock. And I've had a few Gonzos in my life. I had one that was slightly bigger. You can check it out in my earlier videos on my YouTube channel. And you got this guy, which is a nice like sub 3-inch blade shape, blade size. And this guy is an amazing slicer. 440C blade steel, has the G lock. It does not have a deep curve pocket clip, and the Benchmade pocket clip does not fit here. I've tried, but overall, this is just a really nice knife to have in your hand and in your pocket. Less than $20. I got this for I think like $17, $18. I can't remember how much. It's just an amazing pocket knife to have on you, and especially some of their in-house design stuff. They're coming out with some really interesting things. They have a tiny like 2.5-inch button lock that's coming out soon in D2 steel. That's quite interesting, except that I'm not a fan of D2. So that is Gonzo. Oh, another thing about Gonzo is that even though it's sub $20, this Omega spring that's inside here has lasted me well over a year, whereas a Benchmade axis lock from my bug out broke in 3 months and 6 months. So I lost both sides of those axis lock. Next up, multi-tool brands. Lots of multi-tools coming out of China right now. Because the price of Leathermans have gone up so much, a lot of them have decided to kind of take the overall shape of Leathermans and kind of clone them and put their stamp on it. So I get like 85% of all of the performance I need, and to be honest, I only need the 85%. I don't need like the rock solid durability of a Leatherman. If you are using this in a much more hard use, maybe you want to go Leatherman, but I haven't been able in my personal use differentiate this quality over a Leatherman Wave that my friend owns. So what have I done with this? I've hiked with this. I have fixed my stove, my camping stove with this. I fixed my sink that was clogged up. I've used this. I fixed my vacuum cleaner, my robo vacuum, opened it up, cleaned it out thanks to this guy. So everything I've needed to do with a multi-tool, I've done it with this guy, and it's still going strong. The only thing I can say about this is that the blade has rusted up a little bit, mainly because I took it hiking once, and then my sweat just permeated the bag, and this guy was kind of like covered in sweat, but only this part of it got rusted. The rest of it's still fine. It's still going really, really strong. So no complaints about this guy. One thing you gotta know is that it doesn't come with the Leatherman bit kit. It comes with the standard, I believe this is the 1/4-inch bit. Yeah, these are the 1/4-inch bits. So you have a Phillips head and a flat head in there. Great multi-tool. Very, very happy with this. Again, links down below. And it also has the little backlock thing that Leatherman has. So very much a clone, but a very good clone, but not a counterfeit because it doesn't have a Leatherman badge on it. Next up, one of the best Chinese companies out there. We have Civivi, and they have their their big brother brand, We Knives, and Civivi has really been knocking out of the park. You had some big sellers out there. Before this, you had the Elementum. Now you have the Elementum button lock, just great knives. And now this one is my favorite Civivi ever. This is the Vision FG, designed by Snacks Ton, who is my countryman, and it has a new lock called the Super Lock, which is kind of like an axis lock with a coil spring plus a triad lock from Cold Steel. So very strong, very fidgety. I've seen him testing this lock and this knife design in the ocean, going to the ocean, cutting up stuff, just really beating hard on this guy, and this guy just keeps coming along. I've taken this guy camping, did a little bit of batoning, and actually this guy gave me the worst cut of my life. I don't know if you can see that. See, there's a line there, that line, and you see there's a line there that forms a straight line. Okay, that happened to me because this knife came down on me. I was batoning a stick. I had a stick where I was putting the blade into the stick, and just the act of trying to put it into the stick, it kind of went through and then down on my hands, and there you go. So I learned my lesson. So yeah, do not baton with folding knives, guys. But it definitely took the batoning. It wilted not wilted. It carved out sticks and removed bark and feather stick no problem when I switched it to my other hand, which actually it shows off that it's an amazing design, because when this hand was injured, it was wrapped up in bandages. I had to use my left hand the rest of the camping trip, and I was feather sticking with this guy, and I had no problems with it at all. In fact, it was actually very comfortable in the left hand. Next up, another knife brand that's very popular coming out of China, CJRB, and their big brother company, Artisan Cutlery. They have some really interesting knife designs, and they've really perfected the budget button lock in their category. It's just an amazing knife. The action is great, completely smooth, nice deep carry pocket clip. And it has rounded edges. The steel liners are not sharp in the middle there, which a lot of companies, even in the US, kind of get wrong. Sometimes you get sharp edges on the inside here. This guy, nice and rounded. It's just a great knife. The only thing I can complain about it is that it has a little bit of lock rock, not when it's open, but when it's closed. Sorry, it's not lock, it's D10 rock. It kind of shakes a little bit. Yeah, it kind of shakes a little bit. However, that is something that exists in a $200 ZT as well. See? It shakes in the D10. So does this guy, but this guy is $50 and this guy is over $200. But once it's opened up and locked up, it is solid. No side to side, no up and down blade play, and it just drops nice and smooth. So there you go, guys. Happy Chinese New Year to all of my Chinese viewers, and let me know if you think that there's actually still a big value of only sticking with USA made knives, because prices are going up really high. I've said my piece about Benchmade. I'm not a fan of Benchmade anymore. The quality of the knives with their price is just it's ridiculous to me. Spyderco still makes a lot of great knives, but their pricing has really gone up. ProTech surprisingly haven't been going up in prices that much, but it is still going up in price. And let me know if this is kind of what the knife market is going to, whether these made in China knives, we know that they have amazing designs. Okay, we know that they have great quality, and then we know that they have great value proposition. And let me know in the comments down below. Thanks, guys. Stay ready.